All you have to say is, I've been vaccinated. That's it. And nothing applies to me. I'm in the same position as everybody else who have been vaccinated. And tell you what, so why even bother? Like stated income. Remember during the bubble, the last real estate bubble, which went crazy? Today you borrow money, they actually check to see how much you earn. The last time we had the bubble that collapsed the real estate market, it was stated income. All you had to do was say how much money you made. That was it. And you were done. So there you are, buying $1 million piece of property, and the only way you can qualify is you have to make, and I'm just throwing the numbers out, $250,000 a year, let's say. And you really make $35,000 a year. All you have to do is say, yeah, I make $250,000. No one checks. There's your mortgage. I mean, that was a disaster. What happens here, and hopefully the virus has been kicked around and has been dealt with, so it loses its power to transmit, because cases are way down, and that's because of vaccinations. But how many people who have not been vaccinated will say, yeah, no problem, sure. When you talk about hesitancy, right, we're still looking at a third of America that have not been vaccinated. Some because they just didn't hassle it, so I didn't hassle it. But if I don't want to wear a mask at work, all I have to say is, yeah, I've been vaccinated. That's an easy out. And that's the problem. Now, the other side of the coin is that you have to show documentation, immunization. By the way, for those of you that have kids and you put them in school, that they'll take your word for that your kids have been immunized. They want to see the paperwork. They want to see the original paperwork to prove it. So, in one case, society deals with it very strongly, and in the other case, you know what? We have these rules, but it really doesn't matter. But all the ruls now, other than a few, for example, the workplaces are required to provide masks to workers who are not fully vaccinated, but going to say they are anyway. They have to wear face coverings indoors or shared workplace. Not you've been double vaccinated. You've gotten 2 shots. All you do is say it. Now, employers will have to provide N95 masks if an employee who is not yet fully vaccinated requests one. Who's going to do that? Right? I'm not going to request it. I'm simply going to say, I've been vaccinated. Leave me alone. That's the whole. And that's the problem. And we don't know the numbers yet, but there are enough people who are not inoculated that I think it's going to come to bite us in the butt. Coming up, the United Teachers Los Angeles, they've agreed. We're all going back to school. Yippee. There are a few restrictions, but for the most part, no. It's going to be back to normal. KFI AM 640, let's check in with Layla Muhammad, in for Jennifer today.
Federal courts in Los Angeles, Santa Ana, and Riverside will be closed today in recognition of the Juneteenth holiday. President Biden signed it into law yesterday. The top medical advisor to the Japanese government says the safest way to hold the Tokyo Olympics is without any fans. Fans from abroad have already been banned, and organizers are to announce early next week if some local fans can attend. And tropical storm warnings have been issued for Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle. They're looking out for Claudette. Forecasters say the storm will likely come ashore west of New Orleans tomorrow morning. We're checking out some trouble on the 710 next.
Summer's here, things are opening back up, and you still have that ugly old garage door. Hi, Dwight here from Mesa. No more excuses. It's time to totally transform the look of your home with a new garage door from Mesa. Normally a new Mesa garage door is $949, but today I'm slashing the price to $699. You save $250. Plus, I'm throwing in the installation free, bottom seal free, and I'll even pay your sales tax. Be one of the next 11 callers, and I'll even throw in our exclusive quiet light system, dramatically reducing the noise of your garage door. Normally $199, now absolutely free. Whether you need a new garage door or just need your old one fixed, you can trust the Mesa Advantage for all your garage door needs. The best garage doors from the best professionals at the absolute best price. To take advantage of this special summer deal, grab your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say Mesa Garage Doors. On your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say Mesa Garage Doors.
A stall on the 710.
That's outside in Long Beach, just before the 91 at the stall that's stuck in the middle lane. It looks like your ride starts to load up as you come away from Rosecrans. Heading to Stillmar to a crash on the eastbound side of the 210 just after Roxford. It's a motorcycle crash that has just been cleared off to the right shoulder, but it looks like you're still seeing delays from Yarnell. Heading to the 105 heading westbound, looking at conditions, leaving Norwalk. It looks like things are starting to slow down just a bit. From Lakewood Boulevard to right at 110 is approximately 10 minutes, and it'll take you 25 minutes to reach LAX. KFI in the sky has taken there faster and soaring from.
The best summer plans start at Toyota's We Make It Easy sales event, where right now you can get great savings on some of our most popular models, like $1,000 factory cash back on a stylish and reliable Corolla. Plus, there are new Toyotas arriving daily, from fuel-efficient hybrids and versatile SUVs to our legendary trucks. So see your Toyota dealer today. Let's take delivery from model year 2021 new car dealer stock by midnight July 6th.
Hi, you must be Tina.
Yeah, that's me.
I recognized you right away. Wow, you look just like your picture.
And you are...
I'm Carlos. You didn't recognize me?
Kinda.
Kinda doesn't cut it. That's why Toyota certified technicians only use genuine Toyota parts. So they fit your Toyota perfectly. Toyota Service Centers. Keep your Toyota a Toyota. We make it easy. Toyota. Let's go places.
Have you been putting off life insurance for a while? With the long application process, medical exams, and blood tests, it's no wonder you put it off. It can seem so confusing, expensive, and time-consuming. But Ethos is a new way to buy life insurance. Ethos is built with you in mind. Instead of a medical exam, you only have to answer a few health questions. Our application is 100% online and can be done in about 10 minutes. You might even get same-day coverage. At Ethos, we match you with the right policy and the right price from top-rated carriers, with no medical exams and no blood tests. Now you can spend less time sorting through confusing paperwork and more time with the loved ones you want to protect. Go to ethoslife.com today to apply in minutes. That's ethoslife.com. Ethos Technologies, Inc. operates in some states as Ethos Life Insurance Services. Not available in all states.
Hey, what are you doing this summer?
That's easy. I'm gonna grill and chill. And Stater Brothers Market is where I get everything I need. I'm picking up my grilling favorites at the full-service meat counter. They've got the best cuts, quality, and selection. Beef, chicken, seafood, and plant-based. It's all there. Oh, and I'm adding some fresh-cut fruit, veggies, and salads, too. And after I'm done grilling, I'm chilling with ice-cold drinks and dessert.
Oh, nice. Mind if I tag along? Grill and chill all summer long with Stater Brothers Market.
Small business owners know cutting costs without cutting quality is tough. How do you trim expenses without hurting your business? Easy. Get Spectrum Business. Call 888-489-2212. Switch to Spectrum Business and you can get the best internet and phone services for half of what you're paying today. Cutting costs can be easy when you get Spectrum Business. Just call 888-489-2212. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
At Loan Depot, they know that home means everything. That's why they deliver the dream of home ownership to thousands of customers each month, helping them achieve the American dream of home ownership. Refinance options, providing jobs and investing in communities nationwide. Call 866-888-LOAN. 866-888-LOAN. Rates, terms, and availability programs are subject to change without notice. LoanDepot.com, LLC, all rights reserved. NMLS ID 174457. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. For more licensing information, please visit LoanDepot.com/licensing. 26642 Town Center Drive, Fort Hill Ranch, California. 92610. Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Dean Sharp here. Nothing disrupts your life, your comfort, even your safety like a power outage. And outages are the new normal. So now is the time to set up your home with an emergency generator from Duffy Power. Duffy is Southern California's generator experts. And with 0% interest financing, emergency power totally affordable. Duffy Power, making sure your life, your comfort, and your safety are not to be interrupted. Dial pound 250 on your cell and say Duffy Power. Pound 250 Duffy Power or on the web at duffypower.com.
You know what? Looking at
all these rising crime rates, I think we should let more criminals out. That makes sense.
Make it safer.
Why are we focused on making prisons safer
Gary and Shannon.
and not our neighborhoods safer?
Weekdays at 10 a.m. on KFI.
And good morning, Bill Handel here on a Friday, June 18th. Tomorrow, Juneteenth, now an official federal holiday. Commencement speech coming up at 8 a.m. And the big news, another flex alert. Tonight from 6 to 9 p.m., the heat wave, the searing of Southern California continues on. One of the big issues with the coronavirus this past year, well, there were two major issues. Well, actually the number of people, of course, hospitalized and died. That was the biggest one. But it was the return to business as quickly as possible. Boy, there was some controversy there, wasn't there? And the return of students to school. Normal classroom attendance. Because on the restaurant side, the business side, you know, it's thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of small businesses are out of business because of the pandemic and the rules restricting the opening of businesses. With school, it's almost a throwaway year. If you ask educators, and there's some mixed response, the education, the online education was so miserable for a variety of reasons. Educators are saying we should just repeat across the state or across whatever school district. So the United Teachers of LA, very aggressive teachers union, a lot of power, have ratified a tentative agreement with the district, and looks like the schools are going to fully reopen for the upcoming academic year. As a matter of fact, looks like they're going to fully reopen starting next Wednesday for summer school. And a vote was taken, 94% voted in support of the deal of the union members. So this is great news. Are there restrictions? You bet there are. It lays out health and safety protocols, and even within there's some controversy, but it really doesn't matter because this is going to happen. The approval has been done, and schools across LA Unified will have the COVID safety protocols in place. Now, the schools are going to offer the traditional school day come fall. And on top of that, they're also incorporating health and safety measures that never existed prior to the pandemic. So it's a combination of, yep, we're wide open, but, and what's the but? Well, daily screenings for COVID symptoms, proper ventilation, and who's going to argue about that, regular cleaning and disinfecting of facilities, who's going to argue about that, and making sure the sites are stocked with soap, hand sanitizer, paper towels, and I'm sure the teachers and administrators are hand washing far more than they ever have before. So there are two areas of controversy. One is the screening. How often it's going to be screened. I think the kids are once a week, and I think teachers are going to have it daily screening. Also the issue of masks. It still is a requirement that staff, students, and visitors continue to wear masks on campus. And a lot of parents are not happy about that. The only major change that would be a safety issue that makes sense to the school district that they caved was the social distancing. That is, the desks being 6 feet apart versus now the traditional 3 feet apart. And since they're arguing social distancing should still be in place, what happened? Well, it turns out on a practical level, 6 feet apart, you don't have enough desks. It's not enough to fill a classroom, which means that the school district, the school has to split the school day. So you have a split shift, which is going on and has all over the country, where some students have a morning shift and some students have an afternoon shift. And I don't know, when we went to school, that never happened. You know, we have 32 kids in a classroom. Or if you were lucky, you know, for example, as a private school, 22 kids in a classroom. In an extraordinarily overcrowded school, 35, 38 kids in a classroom, and there really wasn't much of an issue of separation of desks. And the teachers with health concerns can request a remote work assignment, like teaching online to students, for example, enrolled in an independent study program. They're not going to be forced to show up in the classroom. They will remain at their current school sites upcoming year. They will not be displaced at all. And the elementary school teachers won't have to teach combination classes with students from 2 grade levels in the same class, which, depending on the school, that's what happened. So it's going to be a normal school year, except. And some parents are not in the least happy about this at all, saying, oh no, still too restrictive. And you have union members who, even though they voted for it, saying there really aren't enough restrictions to protect the teachers. So the controversy continues, but for the most part, we're going to be back to normal. Summer school is kicking back, and in the fall, you probably won't be able to tell the difference, except everybody wears a mask. They'll figure that one out. So let's talk about remote workers for a moment. Companies are advertising, and they will take anybody on even remote workers from any state in the union if you don't need to be in an office. And so, you know, let's hire people. Except in Colorado. They're not hiring from Colorado. And I'll explain that one when we come back. KFI AM 640, let's check in with Layla Muhammad in the KFI News Center.
A motion for higher bail claims 2 people charged in the killing of a young boy had another run-in with a gun just days after the shooting on the 55 freeway. Marcus Ayres told investigators he knew he was responsible for the death of Aiden Lales a week after the shooting from last month. Prosecutors say Ayres and his girlfriend hit the car, and Ayres changed his appearance instead of coming forward. The bail hearing is set for this morning. The LAPD says about half a dozen fatal hit-and-run crashes in the valley are still unsolved.
Police have arrested the man they say hit and killed a pedestrian in Van Nuys. The crash happened Sunday night. Captain Andy Nyman says other hit-and-run cases need to be cracked.
If anybody has reward or information on prior hit-and-run fatalities or injuries, they may be entitled to reward.
The department has seen 38 total traffic collisions in the area this year. That's up 2 from last year. Claudette Stefanian, KFI News.
A water treatment project has been set up to clean the storm water around LAX. LA City Council member Mike Bonin says Argo is a win for the Santa Monica Bay in many ways.
And on top of this space, this is going to turn into both passive and active recreation space, ball fields, and other amenities.
Bonin says the project will collect runoff from the LAX runways and streets of Westchester and Playa del Rey. The water will go through an 8 million gallon underground filtration system. Experts say people should get ready to shell out more money for blue crab because there's a shortage of crabs on the East Coast. The Maryland Department of Natural Resources says there are around 280 million blue crabs in the Chesapeake Bay, which is a drop from the 400 million that were there last year. Let's head to a stall clearing on the 710.
Southbound side before the 91 in Long Beach, a millionaire stall has been cleared from the center lane off to the right shoulder, but it looks like your ride is still recovering from Imperial Highway. KFI in the Sky is sponsored by Injury Attorney, SuperwomanSuperLawyer.com. Jeff Bob with a look at the 118.
You betcha. Well, some stuff to watch for, that's for sure. Eastbound 118 around the 405, something I always wanted to run over. A gas-powered leaf blower, so be careful, that could hurt your car, but I don't see any major delays. South 405 itself, okay, it's normal. Sherman way up and over the hill, that'll be your drop. One thing that was just getting reports of, again, more debris, but it's South 5 around the 134. That's always a busy spot, so watch yourself going down. By the way, the 134 westbound now, going towards the 170, not too bad. A little slower in Lancashire. Injured in an accident, visit SuperwomanSuperLawyer.com. Jeff KFI in the Sky.
And And your ride is starting to fill in on the westbound side of the 91, leaving Corona from Lincoln. Your ride to the 241 is 15 minutes, and it'll take you 25 minutes to reach the 57. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Soren Crump.
With just one more win, the Clippers can advance to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in franchise history. They lead the Utah Jazz 3-2 ahead of tonight's Game 6, and Coach Ty Lue has nothing but praise for everyone involved.
I'm very proud of that. When your best player's down, it just shows a lot about our team. If anyone's to blame, I'll take the blame, criticism, but our players all year long have been great. They've been phenomenal, staying together, no bickering back and forth, and staying too tough. We come together.
Tip-off set for 7 o'clock. You can hear it live on AM 1150. Yes, Kawhi Leonard's still out with that knee injury. I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports.
Get sizzling solar savings now with Semper Solaris, your local veteran-owned solar and battery storage contractor. Being veteran-owned matters. Here's veteran, founder, and owner Kelly Shawhan.
In the military, when you give your word, it just is your word. Work hard and keep your word. That's what we do every single day. Everybody did exactly what they said they were going to do, and that really impressed me. I've heard about Semper Solaris and found out that they were veterans, so I knew they were going to do the job right.
Declare your energy independence. Choose solar panels made in America. We get the job done right with esprit decor and honor. Add Tesla Powerwall and prepare for blackouts. Grab the federal 26% solar and battery tax credit. No interest or payments until 2022. Call 877-211-5591. 877-211-5591. Or visit sempersolaris.com.
26% federal tax credit based on eligibility. Consult your tax advisor. Cannot be combined with any other offers on approved credit. New customers only. Some restrictions apply. Expires 6/30/2021. CSLP number 978152.
Southland weather from KFI. Partly sunny skies today with highs in the triple digits for the valleys, the IE, and the high desert. 80s for the basin and inland OC. 70s along the coast. Low, lifting upper 80s in the mountains. We lead local. Live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Layla Muhammad.
It's Father's Day this week, so I'm going to give you a break, Rick. Here are the top 5 reasons.
I'm not a father.
Oh, you're not a father? Just go with not a father. Yep, makes perfect sense. Number 5.
Father's Day freebie. Dads get a free dad ball cap just by showing up June 20th.
Number 4.
Get a cool action camera for dads when you earn 500 points on your rewards card the 21st or 22nd.
Number 3.
Celebrate Dad's Day at Good Times Cafe. Get a juicy bone-in ribeye, sides, and dessert for one low price.
Number 2.
Take Dad to the lazy river. It's open.
And the number 1 reason to go to Morongo.
Spoil Dad or yourself at Safe Spa. Get the massage you desperately need and deserve.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Conveniently located along the I-10. Less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Morongo. Good times.
Find the employees you need to get your business moving. Sign up with iHeartAdBuilder.com and create a custom radio ad to reach job seekers listening to stations just like this one. Get started today at iHeartAdBuilder.com.
A message from Brad Paisley.
NASCAR is coming to Nashville Super Speedway. With music from Dale Jr. I don't know what to do with my fingers. Yeah, well, it ain't that.
NASCAR's coming to Nashville, Sunday 3 Eastern on NBCSN.
If you're like me, you can't wait to travel, but a lot of destinations want a negative COVID-19 test. That's where COVID Clinic comes in. COVID Clinic has 1-hour COVID-19 PCR tests to travel to almost anywhere in the world. They'll even help with your travel documentation. Make your trip prep easy by doing your COVID-19 testing at one of the many fast and even drive-through COVID Clinic locations near you. So whether you need a COVID-19 PCR test for travel, school, or you just want an antigen test, go to covidclinic.org. Restrictions apply. Go to covidclinic.org.
American Vision Windows, SoCal's choice for energy-efficient windows and doors. AmericanVisionWindows.com.
Water fire chiefs in Southern California worried about.
Vegetation is extremely dry.
This is Steve Gregory. Join me for A Season of Fire, a KFI News special on this year's wildfire season. And for the first time, we gather chiefs from the major departments to discuss readiness and what to expect this year.
Brought to you by Duffy Power Services, Southern California's generator expert. Dial pound 250 and say Duffy Power, or go to DUTHIE-power.com. KFI News presents this Sunday at 4 on KFI.
Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication.
Friday, June 18th, middle of that heat wave that has not stopped. Continuing into next week, another flex alert tonight from 6 to 9. And, no climate change. I keep on pushing that because we're in the middle of one of the worst droughts. Now, if you go to the south and the southeast, the rain there, 12 to 14 inches. I mean, I remember when 2 inches was enormous. Now, that's just a drizzle. So, it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot, but not a schwitz. Interesting workplace story I want to share with you. A ton of companies out there are hiring workers for remote positions. Work at home, and as long as you do your work, obviously everything on a computer. And they're willing, they don't care where you are. Alaska, Montana, California, doesn't matter where the company is based, and it really doesn't matter where you live. Unless you live in Colorado. Then the companies are saying, don't bother applying. Why? There's a new Colorado law that requires companies to disclose expected salary or pay range for each role, each job they advertise, including remote positions. And that's what this story is about. And why? Well, to narrow gender wage gaps and greater pay transparency. And, I mean, it makes a lot of sense, and it depends on whether you are looking at it in terms of the employer or the employee. Now, the rules changed rather dramatically here in California years ago. When my partner and I were running the Surrogacy Center, Karen would do all the hiring and would always ask for a salary history. Always. Why is that? Well, let's say the job pays, we were prepared to pay $60,000. And someone who applied, qualified, made $50,000 in the previous job. So we're going to offer $55,000. It's a win for them. It's a win for us. We've just saved $5,000. They're happy campers. Well, you can't ask anymore for salary history. Can't do it. And that really puts the employer at a disadvantage because we don't know what you made, and all we can do is talk about what the job pays. Well, this goes further and says to companies, if you are advertising for a job in Colorado, it's on the internet, it goes all over the place, but anybody coming in Colorado, you have to post what the salary is going to be. Now, they do that with public advertising. If you notice, you go to the newspaper, whether online or the physical newspaper, and you see agencies advertising, whether it's the DMV, whether it's some municipal agency that, of course, you've never heard of, and they're advertising for an engineer, and they will put a salary. It pays from $60,000 to $80,000. Depending on qualifications and education, etc. Well, that's exactly what's happening in Colorado across the board. So you know what companies are doing? They're just saying, we're not interested in Colorado. Johnson & Johnson posted wanted a job, so needed a worker, so posted for a commercial finance senior manager and a senior manager in operations. And in the post, it said, work location is flexible if approved by the company, except work performed remotely from Colorado. CBRE, huge real estate company. If you look around whenever there's a lease on a major company, major building, there's CBRE. So their ad for project management in bold letters says this position may be performed remotely anywhere within the United States except in Colorado. Don't bother applying in Colorado. Now, can you apply? Of course you can. No one stops you from applying. But effectively, you're done. You're not going to work remotely if you live in Colorado, assuming the company is not willing to post the amount of money it pays. Well, two things are happening. Here, you've got giant companies that are saying, don't even bother if you're from Colorado. Other companies are saying, you know what? We really don't have a problem. The job pays from especially when you're talking about high-end computer jobs, because those are the ones that are advertised the most now. So we pay $120 to $160. And they can't ask you what your previous salary is. So that gives you an idea of, number one, how much money you're looking at, and it gives the current workers an idea of what they're actually paying. So let's say you have the same level of expertise as is required by this new job, and you're making, again, throwing figures out here, this is all hypothetical numbers-wise, they're paying from $100,000 to $120,000 for a high-end computer job, and you're making $80,000. Well, you can't ask other people. Well, that's the other thing, is that Karen, my partner, made it absolutely a rule you do not share your salary with anybody else. And that's a fireable offense. Those days are gone. Now they can share all they want. And what ends up happening, and it makes a lot of sense, unless you own a business, you want to save money and screw workers, is that the disparity becomes less. That it becomes more fair. And now, it used to be, women used to earn less than men, which I've never seen in any place I've ever been to or worked at, or the companies that I had. So that one I don't quite understand, how a woman would be paid less than a man for the same position. But in those companies that still do, there it is on paper, right? You ask your coworker how much money, and they can't stop you from doing that. You see the job post, and you know how much they're paying, and it becomes, well, rather transparent. And that's the point of the Colorado law, is transparency, giving the employee simply more information and more ammunition. All right, coming up, what's going on with Newsom? Is he going to survive the recall? You bet. I've been saying there is zero chance of him being recalled, and I'm going to come back and give you some information about that. So there's some solid ground for me saying that. And then at 8 o'clock, we've got the commencement speech. This is KFI. Let's check in with Jennifer. Jennifer's here on Monday. Apologize, Layla. Layla here until the end of the show, and then Jennifer comes back on Monday. I'm already there, Layla.
You don't have to apologize.
I do.
It's usually Jennifer sitting here. I'm not offended.
Okay, well, Robin probably is.
No,
so she'll
not.
call me. Oh, there's the phone.
I'm telling everyone, do not call him. It's not that serious. Guess where I am? In the bed right now. Let's start over. Cal OSHA has approved revised workplace pandemic rules that allow employees who are fully vaccinated the same freedoms as when they're off the job. A search has resumed for 2 missing tubers on a river in North Carolina. They were among 9 people who were floating down a river on an inflatable tube when they went over a dam about 8 feet high. A man has been bitten by a shark while swimming near a fishing line off Santa Rosa Beach. He is expected to recover. That's in Florida, by the way. We're checking out some trouble on the roads with DKFI in the sky and a crash on the 405 next.
Let's face it, painting your house is a pain, and you know what? It's time-consuming, it's expensive, and what's worse, you have to repaint every few years because nowadays paint is basically just colored water. Hi, I'm Steve, creator of Deluxe Life Coat. We're here to take the pain out of painting. Deluxe Light Coat is a revolutionary exterior coating that comes in any color you like. It's 20 times thicker than paint. More importantly, it's a permanent solution to the never-ending cycle of painting and repainting. And Deluxe Light Coat has the best lifetime warranty in the industry. It covers flaking, peeling, and yes, even cracking. What paint can say that? Let's take the pain out of painting. Dial pound 250 and say Life Coat. The first 10 callers today to dial pound 250 and say Life Coat will get 20% off and pay no interest for 2 years. Get in now. Dial pound 250 and say Life Coach.
Certain terms and conditions apply. CSLB number 1052855.
Hey, DQ fans, Father's Day is right around the corner, and DQ is celebrating your dad with something special. A DQ Father's Day cake just for him. DQ makes each Father's Day cake with love. Grab a cake with fudge and crunch as cool as dad this Father's Day. Only at your DQ.
Partly sunny today with highs in the 80s to 100 inland, 70s along the coast. This report brought to you by Dairy Queen. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. A crash on the 405.
Northbound side, just before Valley View in Westminster. This is a crash investigation. It's been closed, has the right lane shut down all morning. Your ride starts a little bit as you approach Springdale. KFI in the Sky is sponsored by Injury Attorney, SuperwomanSuperlawyer.com. Jeff Bob checking the 605.
Yeah, just some stuff to watch for now. Most of our freeways are in pretty good shape, but northbound 605 now, well, right after 105, we had a report about a bunch, is the description of ladders in lanes, and then right after that, we got word of a north 605 around the flat tire car, so just be careful. It'll be a little slow. After that, though, actually, it's a pretty good drive all the way up to the 60, the 10, the 210, all that. Even the southbound drive looking good, a little slow at Washington. The 710 looks like all the trucks are headed into Long Beach Harbor to pick up stuff. Right now, that's slow drive, Florence through the 105 and the 91 and down to the harbor. Northbound drive, if you're just leaving North Long Beach, it's looking good all the way up to East LA. Injured in an accident, visit SuperwomanSuperlawyer.com. Jeff Baugh, KFI in the Sky.
Yeah, it looks like you'll hit some long stretches of minor delays on the southbound side of the 5 through Anaheim and Santa Ana. From Broadway in Anaheim, your ride at 55 is 15 minutes, and it'll take you 25 minutes to reach the 133. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Soren Crump.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hey, DQ fans, Father's Day is right around the corner, and DQ is celebrating your dad with something special. A DQ Father's Day cake just for him. DQ makes each Father's Day cake with love. Grab a cake with fudge and crunch as cool as dad this Father's Day. Only at your DQ.
Hey, if you want to sell your house or condo fast and easy, call Seller's Advantage. They'll buy your home as is for cash. With Seller's Advantage, there are no realtor fees or commissions, no escrow fees, no repairs needed, no open houses, no strangers walking through your home. They buy your house or condo for cash. David and Doug from Seller's Advantage just bought a house from one of our KFI listeners. The owner wanted to sell the house. He met with a couple of real estate agents, and then he met with Seller's Advantage. He compared the numbers. Well, he went with Seller's Advantage. Smart KFI listener. He ended up with the same money, same bottom line, and no repairs, no headaches, no open houses, no hassle. He says working with Seller's Advantage was the easiest real estate transaction he has ever completed. If you're considering selling your home, call Seller's Advantage and see how much your home is worth. BRE number 01961658. Call now for your free quote. Call 888-321-AS-IS. Call 888-321-AS-IS. That's 888-321-AS-IS. Or go to sellersadvantage.com.
Attention, California. New federal funding of $3 billion is available to help more people pay for health insurance, no matter what your income. Couples could now pay $700 less every month. Single people could have comprehensive coverage for $1 a month. And a family of 4 could pay less than $100 a month. To see your new lower price, go to coveredca.com. The sooner you sign up, the more you save. Covered California. This way to health insurance.
Imagine for just a moment you're at the wheel of a plug-in hybrid. No, not like that. Imagine yourself in a plug-in hybrid BMW. That's more like it. Now imagine that this vehicle has the dynamic performance you expect from a BMW, made even more powerful with electric extra boost, which injects more horsepower for bursts of acceleration. And with an all-electric range long enough for local trips, backed by a powerful combustion engine, these vehicles will get you there and back with miles to spare. And you'll get there quicker with access to the HOV lane. Wow. The BMW 330e, X3, X-Drive 30e, and X5, X-Drive 45e plug-in hybrids. Range, power, and performance that you don't unplug to drive, you unplug to unleash.
Now through June 30th, lease a 2021 BMW 330e plug-in hybrid sedan for $439 per month for 36 months with $41.99 due at signing. Visit SoCalBMW.com today for details.
There are no limits to what we can do together. So let's keep rising, California.
Esquina, esquina, y ahí nos vamos. El mundo es grande, pero lo tengo en mis manos. Estoy muy duro, sí, ok, ahí vamos. y con el tiempo nos seguimos elevando.
Get vaccinated and wear a mask when it can protect you and others. Your actions save lives. To learn more, visit covid19.ca.gov.
Y dónde está mi gente?
If high ping takes you from first place to last place, you're not a bad gamer. You just need better internet. Get AT&T Fiber and get a ping rate under 11 milliseconds and unlimited data. With 20 times faster upload speeds, AT&T Fiber delivers a faster internet experience than cable. Limited availability in select areas. Call 1-877-ONLY-ATT. Speed comparison based on AT&T Internet 1000 wired upload connections prefers major cable providers 1 gig service with uploads of 35 megabits per second. Speeds vary, not guaranteed. Restrictions apply.
Celebrate your rad dad with a day full of grilled goodness from Sprouts Farmers Market.
Dad deserves the best, so give him the rich, flavorful, 100% grass-fed Angus steaks with no added antibiotics or hormones ever.
Pair with succulent lobster tails for a surf and turf dinner at home he'll be sure to love.
Plus, you can order all of your Father's Day essentials for pickup and delivery on Sprouts.com or through the app. Service on your first order is free.
Visit your local Sprouts Farmers Market or learn more at Sprouts.com today.
Sprouts, where goodness grows.
It is time to embrace all these names, these terms. I'm a NIMBY.
I'll shatter from the rooftops. Not in my backyard.
I don't want to live with meth addicts. Period.
Not across the street, not next door, not within 10 miles of them.
You have every right to a nice neighborhood. You don't have to feel guilty about it. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to defend it.
John and Ken, weekdays at 2.
You earned it. It's yours.
On KFI.
Good morning. Bill Handel here on Friday, June 18th. Tomorrow is a federal holiday. The President signed into law yesterday that 2 days from yesterday, tomorrow, a federal holiday. But since federal holidays, you do it on Monday or Friday, federal workers were told not to even come into work. Juneteenth. Go figure. I mean, I would think it would happen next year, right? Give a year to kick in. No, we're at a rush on that one. Now, big story here in California is the recall of Gavin Newsom. Enough signatures were gathered. It said that. And I'm also saying that there is basically a 0 chance of Gavin Newsom being recalled and someone else coming into place. I mean, there actually is a recall. He has been recalled, but now there is an election in which there's only 2 questions. Should he be removed from office? And if so, who should be the new governor, replace him? And what those who are advocating the removal of Newsom are saying, we did it 20 years ago. Hey, we can do it again. Yeah, you can't. And let me give you some reasons why you can't. First of all, the rules have changed. 20 years ago, when Gray Davis was tossed out, anybody could apply to run for office. 175 people ran against him, all the way from some legitimate politicians to crazy people. I mean, people were just insane. Celebrities, porno stars, actors, I mean, just anybody. So there was one name that had name recognition. See, that's really important because one of the things in politics that you have to go for is name recognition. If people know who you are, they tend to vote for you. And if people have no idea who you are, you're just a name. Well, the people that are running against Gavin Newsom now, John Cox, who the hell is he? Kevin Faulkner, who is he? Right, the mayor of San Diego, does anybody care? Now, there was a guy by the name of Arnold Schwarzenegger who was running. Everybody knew his name, so name recognition this time around is non-existent among those that are opposing Gavin Newsom. The other thing is the politics of California has swung far more left, the demographics, than when Gray Davis was kicked out of office. And the other thing is the approval rating. Gray Davis was in a lot of trouble in the approval. He was involved in our electric bills when the deregulation hit for electricity.
And municipalities, utilities were able to sell off all of their hard assets and just buy on the open market electricity because it was so much cheaper. Well, that changed, didn't it? And so, Gray Davis was a big proponent. And so people were paying 10 times as much for electricity. And who do you think got blamed? Who was the poster child? It was Gray Davis. And here, Gavin Newsom, what is he doing? Oh, look what he did to the pandemic. Look how bad he's done to California. Well, look at all the bad issues involved. Well, for one thing, California is in the best place, or among the best places in the country when it comes to the pandemic. You can't scream pandemic, pandemic, pandemic when you have 3 people going into the hospital every day. I mean, nobody cares. And even with all of this, Newsom's approval rating has not dropped very much. And so in the rural areas, the red areas of California, it's about the same. But in the urban areas, the swing towards democracy, or the Democratic Party, is enormous. How many Republicans are registered in California? 24% are registered Republicans. Yeah, it's tough for the Republican Party to go very far unless you have very specific, tiny little red areas, which is why gerrymandering and redistribution is always just a big deal. And other than that, you've got the most liberal state in the United States, which is why you never see advertisements here for president, for national office. You never see it. Why? Because this is a given. This is a blue state. Why bother? First of all, it's expensive. Second of all, it's not going to do anything. And the same thing is going with Gavin Newsom and the recall. There is not enough money, number one, to establish name recognition for opponents. Number two, to convince Californians that Newsom should be tossed because of all of his horrors. And by the way, he's made some, mistakes. But enough to be recalled, enough to be thrown out of office, not even close. And even though the number of independents has exploded, people who do not affiliate with any party, which I've always been, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, what most independents do, but I go both ways, yeah, I'm bi-political, most independents go towards the Democratic side. Those are the reasons that Gavin Newsom will not leave his office. He will not be kicked out of office. Coming up, the commencement address. My annual commencement address. This one is for the class of 2021 and 2020 because last year's class didn't have a chance to go to graduation. That's coming right up. And Foodie Friday at 9:30. Always fun with Neil Saavedra and Steve Gregory, a preview of his news presentation, his story, A Season of Fire. So a lot going on. This is KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
From a young age, I knew that to have any sort of relationship with my dad, I was going to have to watch a game, whether it be hockey or basketball or baseball or football or whatever. And so that's what I did. And this Father's